We're already out of order because you said MJF first, which is still, it's all Forbidden Door related. Should we just talk about what the different people saying that the Forbidden Door is? I think that that's what this should be. I think because I fucking hate the state of marks these days, I guess. But I don't have a problem with all marks. There's always marks. I'm a mark. But like,
it's still work because I still don't like Chris Asher, so this is all work.
Yeah, we're like the Jeffersons. They didn't like each other either.
Yeah,
nobody will get that reference, but fucking.
Is it because we're black?
The Thrasher got it. But I think that there's like, because like now with all this Jeff Hardy shit, fucking
WWE doesn't look so bad offering him to go to rehab now, do they?
AEW just sent him to rehab.
Oh wow, because they couldn't even afford to send Mox to rehab. WWE had to pay for Mox's rehab.
Yeah, I'm just tired of talking wrestling with my 6-year-old because he outsmarts me when it comes to wrestling.
It makes sense. I'm sick and tired of talking wrestling with my dog because it's not really a conversation.
No, it's not that I don't want to have interviews and do interviews, but it's like
no.
I listen to some podcasts. It's like they talk about like stuff that's going on.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. And I think an interview should be like the Destroyer pile driver, only if you need it. Only if you need it, not every show.
And I love how we're going to talk about the Forbidden Door because I love how everyone's making a big thing about it. But like the Forbidden Door has been around since like the mid 90s. Like,
well, because people don't know that ECW deal.
Well, not even that. It's like, I guess people take Forbidden Door like a very different definition of it. I take it as one person leaving one company, going to another, and then coming back. So it's like they're not working together, but like, or even like in the territory days, it's like one territory like.
All right, so have we started?
No, we didn't do an intro. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh man, we gotta do an intro. Who's doing an intro? Slauson?
Sure. Hello, welcome to the Forbidden Door.
The Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door.
Door.
And then
Joe, is that good enough? Did we get in?
No, Joe. It was a bit, and I wanted you to go into the Paradox podcast.
Everything. See, you might never work the first time.
I teed you up.
All right. Well, we're talking about the Forbidden Door tonight.
Sweet.
Hey,
I'll cut that up and make it look like we actually are friends.
Does anybody remember the number to M&J Ecological?
305-697-2258.
305-697-2258. Was that it? That was it. All right, now we got that out of the way.
Okay. So if that's wrong, I'll have to do something, but it's okay.
All right, so make sure you mark this down on your timer.
I got it.
All right, so we're gonna talk about Forbidden Door. First of all, let's go back and I don't know how long. Shoot behind the curtain. I hate Chris Thrasher, so I'm getting paid to do this show.
It's not behind the curtain. It's behind the Forbidden Door or in front of the door. That's something we can discuss. Are we in front of the door or behind the door?
I'm going out the front door with the dignity of my back door because you're not getting in my back door. So the Forbidden Door is not my back door.
You actually made
confused.
That. No, he actually made that make sense, which I was surprised. He's going out the front door. His back door still has dignity because it has not been. I don't know what would happen to it, but so you actually did that right, even if you didn't intend to. And I'm glad I was talking while you were fucking flexing.
All right. So anyway, the Forbidden Door.
I'm gonna leave all this in. I'm just.
Right, so what do we talk about? Do we talk about Cody Rhodes going from AEW to WWE and becoming a completely different character and completely just like went from, hey, you're this all-star and now you're this fucking gigantic superstar in WWE? Because that's what he is. I don't know if you guys watch it. I've been watching it more because of my kid liking it now. But yo, fucking Rhodes got some shit going on, man.
He's had some good matches, but do you think that that's well? Now we're just talking about Cody Rhodes, so I guess we'll get to it.
Well, so we're gonna get to it. I mean, we've missed a lot over the past couple months since we took some time off. Chris got a new job. I got a new job, so Take
I
a
have a
chicken
job.
pie. Yeah, you're still a slob and coleslaw in the world. All right, so nice mustache, Fashion.
Thank you.
Nothing. Nothing.
He said thank you.
So anyway, so yeah, Cody Rhodes making the jump from AEW WWE. Who is the next to jump the Forbidden Door?
Well, then we're not talking about Cody Rhodes. I want to talk.
Whatever. Dog, you know what? I can't carry the show. My arms are only so big. I can't carry the show the entire time. I don't know what to do, guys.
It seems like
I
you want.
think the Cody Rhodes jump is probably one of the best in wrestling history.
History.
In history, yes.
Okay.
History.
Because of the reason why, because no one has a ball in the court, like so to speak, because he left WWE, became a bigger star on his own, but WWE's like, okay, I'm gonna bring this person back because I know I can get fans and views to go with it, but it's also I'm stealing someone from the competition.
Undesirable to undeniable.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's there's like no one has any like headway. It's like they're both even playing field.
But was he undesirable? He was just a heel.
He was very undesirable. Who wanted Stardust on their TV?
Exactly.
Okay. You're going. I'm going as far back as AEW. You're going further
No,
back.
I'm going back. He was undesirable his first run in WWE. Nobody cared about Cody. The only part of Cody was
I think actually people cared. I didn't know.
The only version people liked, and this was Chris's favorite version of Cody Rhodes, was Dashing Cody Rhodes.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I had missed that completely.
Dashing? Dude,
So,
with
yeah.
the face mask, he looked great.
I always saw it, and I was just like, "Why is he wearing a face mask?" It was
the
like a
closest
point in
thing to
time
a
that
super villain we would ever get. The closest thing to a super villain.
I do actually want to make it a point to go back and watch that shit, but I didn't think Stardust was that. I thought Stardust was what you wanted out of it. Well, Stardust was actually Stardust for him. Yeah, the partly Stardust fucking sucked, but Stardust, I felt like if you were a fan, that's what you wanted, wasn't it? Them to be gold together and fucking do shit.
Well, that was
no, because you got to look at it this way. If that was in like the late '90s, maybe early 2000s, yeah, that shit would get over.
Because they would have made it. They would have made
Yes.
it sexy. They would have
But
made it
not-
super sexy.
but not in 2008 to 2013 or not even 2015. It's not gonna get over.
It wasn't.
And that's the reason why like Goldust. The only reason why Goldust got that big run in the like 09s like to 2012 is because he was tag teaming with Booker, and they went through that whole like he got electrocuted and he was doing the twitches, and that was getting over. Like that was getting over. Like there was something to get that over. So but he was still in the nostalgic character though. He was over in the '90s. He was over in 20 years later.
But that's also going on the borderline of like that joke is like, haha, there's something wrong with it. So that's still kind of ruthless aggression, attitude-y. Like that's the other reason why I question the in history. I get where you're coming from, but I'm looking at it from like back in the like obviously we're comparing it to back in the day when people were jumping back and forth and shit like that. For me, there were more eyes on it. There was a different type of audience. So that's why I'm saying like I feel like the audience for WWE doesn't appreciate something that big. I thought the pop was big, I guess. But like I didn't think it was like, oh my God.
It's a different feel between a whole WWE crowd and AEW crowd. Like it's
But a pop's a pop. No,
it doesn't make a
pops are
difference.
different.
It doesn't make a difference. I don't think because in this day and age, you're not gonna get like the big pops anymore because everyone knew that he signed. Everyone knew where he was going to be making his debut.
It was still a big pop.
No, it was, but
well, that lends to my argument. That also lends to my argument of like in his like, I feel like the ones when we were kids, and that's me being old and saying, oh, the ones when we were kids, but like we didn't fucking know, so like we fucking just watched TV and we're like, holy fuck! It's like watching fucking you show up on goddamn, I don't know, Everybody Loves Raymond or something, and you're like,
well, I mean, if you look at it this way, look at it this way. I think the closest like true pop that you've had in the past, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years
was
has to
Cody
be
the pedigree.
no when actually it was 3. Malachi Black debuted,
Yep.
because there was like no one saw that coming at all. And then
Drop the ball.
when Adam Cole debuted, everyone knew Bryan Danielson was going to debut, but no one knew that
Yeah.
Adam Cole.
But the pop was also, but it was just, that's just hype. The pop for CM Punk first like appearance was big too. Though.
Yeah, but they knew he signed already.
Yeah, they already knew he
But that's,
signed.
but that's what I'm saying. The pop, I feel like that pop was maybe just as big as Adam Cole. I feel like Adam Cole was maybe bigger.
It was a surprise. No one knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the pop behind CM Punk wasn't the surprise pop. It was
it was anticipation. It was the anticipation of him coming out of the ring. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very Triple H 02 comeback. That pop was huge.
Did you ever watch King of Kings where he's like, I was behind the curtain thinking, do they remember me? Like, what the fuck? Of course I remember you.
Have I ever,
What do you mean,
have I
do
ever
they
watched,
remember you?
have I ever watched King of Kings? I've watched that. Just like Triple H said that he burnt out the VHS tape of Steamboat Flair, I burnt out my fucking DVD watching Steamboat Flair on that DVD and also watching Triple H be Triple H.
I just burnt out my dab rig.
Okay. I haven't taken a dab forever.
What did anybody watch the first 5-star match according to Dave Meltzer on the main roster in 11 years? Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. Did you watch it?
No, I was gonna watch that show. You know what I was actually watching during the Hell in the Cell? I was watching the Armageddon Hell in the Cell because I've been rewatching TV from that time, so like it's all in order. So that was what was next, and I just happened to be watching that match while Hell in the Cell was going on, and I was like, and I'm such an old curmudgeon that I don't care about any wrestling. That I was just like, I'm just gonna keep watching this.
Did you watch it, Chris?
I watched bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
Watch bits and pieces. It was a good match. It was a very good match.
Yeah, no, it was, and I like the storyline with it. Now, here's my question: is if it's anyone other than Seth Rollins, would we be talking about it like a month in? Like
no,
now?
because Seth Rollins is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Right. I think he
Seth
was
Rollins
the best
is by far
person.
one of the best. Shawn Michaels below Shawn Michaels. It's just so many other things Seth Rollins can do and put into a storyline that's just so good.
I don't know about blowing Shawn Michaels out of the water.
I don't mean it like in that negative way.
Shawn Michaels used to do that all the time. Shawn Michaels was the king of taking storylines and making
it. I don't know.
No,
man.
I'm talking about in this
like,
time frame, with this roster, right now.
If we're talking about like here and now, Seth Rollins, definitely I mean, in the past year alone, I think the only matches that I was just like fucking like watching it, like watching it like a fucking kid was definitely Seth Rollins matches. Yeah, the Mania match was good. And that was actually, and the Mania match was good. And that was actually the first I've seen Cody had good matches in AEW, and he's not a bad, like, I thought his stuff that he did with Darby was really good. There was some mediocre stuff. There was more, that was my point. There's more mediocre stuff in AEW for Cody than really good matches, which he did have really good matches, but I felt like that was so few and far between that's why all this stuff happens. But now, but also there's more spotlight on it, so you're watching it with that sort of feeling, and then it's like, you know, they're gonna go, wow, you know, they're both good, obviously good at what they fucking do. So like, is it an amazing match, or have we just not fucking seen an amazing match in so long?
I'm so glad you just said that about the vision and seeing and everything like that. I think the reason why Seth Rollins was the perfect fit for him is, if to my recollection, to my memory, they really never squared off when he was in WWE by himself in solos. They never had like a solo run. So now if you bring him in and you put him with Randy Orton, you put him with, it's already been done. So it's not going to be like the biggest hype where they haven't gotten their hands on each other. So it's kind of like almost like what Moxley and Bryan Danielson, when they went through in AEW, how they said that they never squared off one-on-one. So, you know, they want wins and loss, you know, whatever. So I think that's what makes it good. Because if it was anybody else that he had already had a prior history on, I don't think it would have been like this good.
Right. I agree.
Thank you
he
for
had
agreeing
a.
with me.
He said he did an interview. He came out and said that he had an interview with Vince McMahon. He was like, I don't want to hear anything about Stardust and I like that. And he's like, when I came out to WrestleMania, he's like, I felt myself doing like Stardust things. And he's like, I had to stop myself. He's like, I was back where I was. So he he thought he was Stardust for a minute. I thought that was kind of funny.
Now, my question is too about this Cody Rhodes jumping ship and everything that's going on with WWE, with Triple H stepping down, Stephanie stepping away, and the state of where the front office is. With Cody Rhodes having experience in a front office, do you see him maybe trying to jump into that role that Triple H was?
I thought that the whole I
Because the timing was like almost like
right. But I feel like the reason there was like this huge thing that when it first happened that Cody said, and again, this is on the internet, so I don't fucking know if Cody actually said this shit or if it's just a fucking well-written goddamn. But I think one of the things that like made him decide to go back to WWE was that he took this production role, this huge production role at an age where he just wanted to like really be in the prime of his career and work. So I think him going over there was because he can, and another reason why I think he's having back to back amazing fucking matches, and that he has just time to just focus on that shit. I think he's like that's a role for later in life. Like I don't think he's opposed to it, but I don't think he's trying to. I think he's so burnt out from that way of working that he's like happy to just show up with a bag, get fucking
WWE handed him a
creative works,
boatload
but
of
they just
shit,
fucking
dude.
do the thing.
WWE handed him a boatload, bro. They fucking gave him a fucking.
Well, I mean that's one
bus.
thing, obviously, but like, dude, if you told me like I didn't have to do all this, I just got to show up, fucking, and focus on my match, sure.
But I think
I
it was,
see.
I think it was more to Cody because Cody wants that fucking that whole like Miz and Maurice thing, that whole Miz and Mrs. show that they have. Dude,
Well,
that does like fucking like 4 million viewers
Yeah, but
every week.
that's on him.
That's what they,
He's
yeah, but
already
that's what
done
Cody
shit.
wants. Cody wants that same production for his life.
I don't
Cody's yeah, bro. I'm telling you, they're gonna have a whole show with him and Brandy and the
they already
baby.
did. They already did.
No, but I'm saying though, now it's gonna be a WWE production.
Oh, but
It's
here's
much
my
bigger.
thing. Here's my thing on it though, is
that, but that's also just to chime in because I have production experience. We don't need to go into it, but I do. Fucking, that's a completely different level of work than what
But with TNT dropping that contract, with Time Warner dropping the contract, I'm pretty sure WWE's gonna pick it up and make a fucking show out of it.
No. But what I'm saying is the production job that he had in AEW is way more fucking taxing and 24/7 than just being on a fucking reality show.
you also have to realize though too. This was the point I was going to get at. Is when he? I don't think the production side was taxing. The problem was he was an on-air talent. And so you have to write the production around himself and also in an industry that is going to sandbag the fuck out of you and beat you up all over the internet, all over the dirt sheets if you put yourself on top. So he has to put himself in a mediocre role on the card, but still be top person as production when you know physically and mentally you're in the prime of your career.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's like the biggest like struggle for him. And then he books him to show the fans that he's not in it to like put himself over. He books himself. If he loses a match, he'll never like
Did he
wrestle.
back himself into a corner with that match?
Yes, he did. He did. Yeah.
well,
He
yeah,
did,
he
right?
said that too in that same thing that I was talking about. He said he shouldn't have done that, but he felt like he had to because of that exact reason. That's also the reason back in the day that it's the same. The Jarretts had that fucking thing that fucking Jerry couldn't fucking make it seem like. I think he got heat because there was a run where Jeff was getting a bunch of TV shit, and Vince had to tell him to fucking or tell him like to fucking cool it down because the boys were getting heat with it.
And I think that's what happened. And when you see that yourself is like I said, professionally and mentally and physically, you're in the best shape of your life. Those far and few between matches, like the runs where he had with QT Marshall in the bull rope match, Andrade when in the strap match that went through the flaming table. You had to put on this persona to have these matches, like with Sammy Guevara in the ladder match. So to get yourself over, even though you're to show that you're still wrestling and you're capable of wrestling in a top tier, you got to do these matches. And I think mentally he's like, I don't want to just do these matches. I want to have a story. I want to have, X, Y, and Z. So I see the reason why he left, but just from a fan's perspective, I understand that he wants, the bigger push, the more money and everything like that. It just looks like if this doesn't work out in the 6 months, what are they going to do to you then?
What are they gonna do to hit, like, as far as like let him go, or
Yeah, that, or are they going to write him off like Otis or the Viking Raiders or
oh well,
something?
that's there's a strong possibility that in a year he's in a ridiculous storyline.
What are you talking about, Cody?
Yeah, but
There's
that's
no way.
also
There's no way.
no, but see, but that doesn't depend on him. The way that they've been booking stuff, I feel like that depends on whether or not they think the reaction of putting you in that fucking running or in the title picture, if they fucking see you, if they just don't think it's moving enough shit for them, they're just gonna be like, all right.
I don't think anything goes beyond the Seth Rollins storyline.
See, for me, I think of it different. I think of it as I don't think they're gonna bury Cody at all, because if you show you're gonna bury one of the biggest stars coming out of AEW, nobody from AEW will want to sign with WWE, knowing that they're just gonna get buried walking through the door.
They don't give a fuck.
Are you kidding me?
They don't give a shit. They've made more money
Yeah.
twice in the past
So you
year.
think they're gonna be okay going to WWE to wrestle for the 24/7 championship? No.
Oh,
Oh no,
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 but
no. I didn't say that they're gonna AEW wrestlers are gonna be. I'm saying that
People like MJF want to see
no,
Cody win, so
WWE
he
doesn't
knows
give
when
a
he goes
shit.
in
No,
there.
WWE doesn't give a shit. That's what's Lawson saying is because
They care. They know who they want. They're gonna back the Brinks truck up for
it has no,
MJF.
but
When
it
comes
has
to
it has no
2024,
decision. It's no decision on the wrestler or the upper management. If they walk down that aisle and no one's cheering or booing or anything like that, then they're gonna say we need the next person up. They don't care who it is.
Oh fuck, dude. They spend, dude. Basically, I think.
I mean, look at baseball. Baseball's the same way. Like you can bring in $100 million pitcher.
2024 Royal Rumble, lights go black, number 27 entrant. You see a Burberry scarf on the fucking Titantron. It's MJF in WWE, gonna win the Rumble. Okay.
And then
I'm
he's
sure-
gonna get squashed 3 months later when it's
I'm
time.
glad that we're going to the next topic.
That was a good transition.
Thank you. Yeah.
MJF.
I'm going
Not
to
a
go
word.
out on the limb. I'm going to go out on the limb here and say, okay, I've from episodes past, I've had problems with MJF. I just his in ring work. It's still not great. Like it's not the best.
You're talking
But-
about like his work or his?
Yeah, his work. He everyone has to realize he's only been wrestling for like 4 or 5 years. Okay, and he's in the prime of his career. He's at the top of his career. Okay, but you can still see like every match has to either involve Wardlow or Sean Spears or someone. So he can't win a match. Like I can understand the heel like wrestling matches and the heel storylines and everything like that, but there was never like a dirty pin, feet up on the ropes or anything. It always involved.
He did the Nux and then he beat him with a headlock takeover.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. So it was always something like that, to where like you look at Jericho. Jericho always had like hold the tights. It was always like a heel from the '80s, like
Yeah,
Ric
Ric Flair has the fucking no, the fucking yeah. But
But
I think
I've grown to like his style now and his matches and everything like that. But this also goes to the Cody Rhodes. What I just said is, could MJF be upset that he's not having the matches that he wants to have? He's always having these dog collar match, or I'm gonna take 10 power bombs from Wardlow, or
Yeah, but that's
something
MJ, if MJF didn't want to take 10 power bombs from Wardlow, he wouldn't have taken
and again,
because he was doing
listen,
the job.
this is what I'm trying to get at is, if that would happen, then he wouldn't do that, right? He would say no. That whole little pipe bomb that he did, if he wasn't supposed to be saying that, I'm pretty sure Time Warner and TNT would have cut the feed right away.
Well, I mean, everything he was saying was a word, like felt like a word to certain people up until the whole "you fucking mark." At that point, it's like, oh, whoa, whoa, and that's why CM Punk walked out there with one shoe, and I don't think it was a work. I think it was a straight shoot. I think he wants to get fired from that company. I understand it. Like they're bringing in old WWE guys to fucking take the spots. It's true. I mean, they are.
Yes,
And it's not even old
but here's
I
my
can't even
thing
say old
too.
WWE guys because these are old TNA guys like Samoa Joe and these wrestlers weren't just made in WWE. Obviously, Mox got popular in WWE as Ambrose. Before WWE was a select few number of like death match wrestling fans that knew who Mox was, and WWE made him a gigantic star.
Well,
But also on the flip side, though, that I understand what you're saying, but like, let's say you were in the wrestling, I mean, you were in the restaurant industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have a bartender that you fire, or that it tells you that is lackluster, terrible, X, Y, and Z. You end up firing her. Okay, the bar across the street knows that. Okay, do you think that they're going to hire her? Like, if he did that and he wants to get fired on national TV and everything like that, do you think WWE gambles just because of his name, or do they think that it's going to happen again?
No, WWE's gonna back the Brinks truck up to MJF's house. Yeah, they are.
I don't think I don't.
I that's just what I feel. I may be wrong, could be wrong
my
completely.
He
my
doesn't. He
argument
doesn't
with
fit the
that,
role. He doesn't fit the role of WWE.
my stance with that MJF thing, whether
He
whether it
does, he's the
work or
same
not,
wrestler.
which I think it's both, but fucking it's also I think it's just a work, but that's not what I'm talking about. In that work, shoot, fucking whatever the fuck they did, if I'm both things, if I'm AEW, fuck this guy if it's a shoot. If I'm WWE, fuck this guy. He just called all our fucking ex guys a bunch of shitheads that can't lace their fucking boots, and he probably will fucking get
How
them.
Ric Flair did he look when he was
But
doing that? How Ric Flair did he look when he can't lace my goddamn boots? And I was
that
like,
is
oh
his
man, that's
whole.
Ric
That's his whole
Flair,
thing.
bro.
He came out with the robe too, looking like fucking Rick. Like,
Yeah, bro. I maybe I don't know. It's the only reason I don't think it's a work, and I'll tell you why I don't think it's a work. Time Warner Media came out and released statements saying that AEW is to pull MJF from any and all advertisement, commercials, whatever. Right? How much pull do you think as Tony Khan has and Time Warner to be like, hey, can you guys put out this statement saying that you're gonna pull him from that we have to pull him from all of our commercials? Like, is Tony Khan going to the head of fucking Time Warner saying, put out this statement for me to make my story look better?
If they let him in on the storyline, then yeah.
if
I
they
mean,
let, yeah, I was gonna say that's not that big of a pool. That's if it's like a creative thing, and I don't know who the fucking EP, the executive producers, or any of that beyond. I know the fucking Young Bucks and all that shit are executives, but there's has to be
It's
a
the
fucking
same ones that said the Briscoes aren't allowed in AEW, which I think is a fucking it's the Young
wait.
Bucks
It's the
that's
same
stopping that.
people. It's the same people that said that, or the Young Bucks said that.
Somebody in Time
but
Warner
Time Warner
up,
said that, yeah.
upper
Oh, okay.
management said,
Well,
oh, we
so
can't let the Briscoes on TV because Jay Briscoe made a gay comment like a
well,
month
that
ago.
just goes to my point even more. They have a fucking TNT executive that is assigned to that show, and he's involved in creative in everything.
Nick Gage is okay though, guys. Let's not forget Young Briscoes are way over the line for the gay comment, but Nick Gage, who robbed the bank and pops pills on the daily, is okay for our national televised broadcast.
That's his
That's
own
not the good
downfall.
pills.
He's still accepting of other people. That's what the TNT executive
You
looks at.
can
I'm
be a
just telling
drug addict and rob a bank, but you must
you, yeah,
accept
dude.
gay people. Got
Dude,
it.
like, do you know how many fucking set technicians and shit that I worked with that were fucking criminals? Dude, there's no like. I'm just telling you that there's an executive there that's like, if that's good for the creative of the TV, I'm going to push this to the network and say we need to do this. If somebody says anything about gay people or LGBT fucking QHZY fucking whatever, I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just even I'm covering my tracks. I don't mean to be fucking offensive. I'm just saying I don't need to
You can edit this whole part out. The alphabet.
I won't because I want to make a point. If somebody says some shit like that, or some racial shit or some other shit that's going to get people canceled immediately in 2022, the TNT exec is also going to be like, don't let that motherfucker back in here.
Hey, I have a storyline idea. This is the reason why I think it's a work. is I think Kenny Omega's coming back as the cleaner. And he's going to cleanse MJF. And it's gonna be like a disciple. And then there's gonna be one more person added to it, and it's gonna be Bray Wyatt.
You're such a mark. You're such a mark.
Oh, that's why you think it's a work.
Bray Wyatt's not going to AEW. If
Okay.
Bray Wyatt was going to AEW,
Okay, right.
Tony Khan can't keep his mouth shut long enough to keep
But
Bray Wyatt out of AEW.
But
Dude.
here's the thing about, he's not going to come here. He's not going to come here in this time that we're talking about right now. And there are other places to go. There's Japan. There are other places to go.
There's CYN. Control your narrative.
I'm saying that, you could go that route. That makes no money. So I'm saying that there's these guys that were used to performing at like a ridiculous level, and now they're done with that, and they want to go back, but they want to go back to a different environment, but still perform on that level. Where are they going to go? Japan or fucking AEW? So like, I don't get the whole thing of like, he won't go to AEW. You at least put his fucking foot in the door.
CCW.
They can do that too. People do that.
Am I the only one that thinks Adam Shear, formerly known as Braun Strowman, is the modern day Sid Vicious?
Yeah, bro, he's an idiot.
Do you follow him on social media? I follow him on
Scott Steiner and Sid Vicious are the three dumbest minds in wrestling.
I follow him on TikTok and on Instagram, and he's training for his softball season.
No legs.
I swear to you,
he could probably whip us off. He could probably rip us off.
The guy has no legs.
But
you don't need to rip us off. All you need shoulders, pal.
I'm saying though, his fucking arms are huge, but he has 0 legs. His legs are about as thin as my forearm. That's how small his legs are.
Now, I think what they're going to do with MJF is I think they're going to sign him, but it's not going to be Time Warner signing him.
Is he going to Ring of Honor?
I think he's going to go to Ring of Honor.
Oh God, such a mark. You're such a mark.
There's also, if he goes to WWE, if this is all like so let's go down the alley that it's a fucking shoot. If this is all a shoot and he said all that shit and he thinks all this shit and he's the fucking greatest to ever fucking walk and his fucking farts don't smell and all that fucking shit, he goes to WWE, and how do you think he's going to feel? I don't care how fucking many millions you're doing. If you fucking believe, if you're 20, whatever he is, and you think you're fucking God's gift to fucking earth, and fucking 8 old dudes come up to you with some creative and go, you're going to fucking wear this stupid shit and do this.
You don't think he signed that contract first saying, hey, I got
he's
control?
Gonna go out there and fucking smile and do that shit? No, dude. If he was hurt, sure.
Here's my thing with that, Joe, is like, I don't think he has the pull to put that in his contract.
No.
Vince
I
McMahon.
mean, if he doesn't and he doesn't show up in WWE, oh well, right?
And that's me thinking that
some wrestlers, we interviewed Jake St. Patrick last year. We interviewed people like Sage Scott, who said no matter what, AEW is cool, but every kid's dream is WrestleMania. Like that's every kid's dream.
Right.
That's where all these people want to go.
Every kid's dream is not being the gobbledygooker at WrestleMania. So where are you going to go with that? Dude, I'm saying that if he's really the way people want to play this up, that this was all the shit, like the way the internet fucking dictates it. Fucking, is it wrapping paper behind you?
I wanted sour gummy worms. I'm sorry. So anyway,
edibles. So
no, he's this version.
Oh
of Ric
no,
Flair,
my
bro.
point was sorry.
This version, he's our version for Ric Flair. He is going to be the kiss stealing, wheeling dealing.
He's not. If anything, our version of Ric Flair is like Shawn Michaels or Triple H or something.
Yo, is it just me? Or
those are my versions. I mean, Ric Flair to me is Ric fucking Flair. But I guess for my generation, Ric Flair would be Triple H, Shawn Michaels for my age. But so he's not our fucking Ric Flair. He's not this generation. My point actually goes to that. I was trying to say that he doesn't. Not only does he not have the pool like on paper or legal team or anything like that, he doesn't. And not that I'm saying he will never have it, because I think he's a good worker. I think when Thrasher was talking about he hasn't had like a match, you can still tell there's areas where he's not strong enough. I feel like that's absolutely true. But I also think he's beyond his years in knowing how to work around that, which makes him a better worker just in doing that. And so I think he is that good of a worker. I absolutely think we're going to look at him 15 years from now and be like, that guy could always fucking work. Just like you look at fucking Sean, you look at fucking all that shit. And Sean was a cocky motherfucker when he was young too. But I think he doesn't yet have on video physically the amount of matches that look like holy shit for WWE to be like, all right, let's fucking let this guy fucking run amok in the fucking hallways and talk shit.
Well, also too is like, as a fan base, right? Everyone wants him to go to WWE. We all know he's not going to be the same MJF when he goes to WWE. They're gonna.
Oh, you're right. He's gonna be better, just like Cody.
No, they're gonna water down his persona. So, like, do you think the WWE fans will accept him as a watered down MJF?
As a WWE fan, I will accept MJF. However,
see, that's another thing. And then that's not even his. I mean, that technically is his, but that's not really his fault. And that's one of those things we were talking about with Cody Rhodes, is that in 6 months, if he's doing something stupid, nobody's gonna be going, "Oh, it's the greatest fucking match ever."
Cody Rhodes returns at Royal Rumble, wins the Rumble, beats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the title. And then he brings back the Winged Eagle.
I do want somebody to do that. And I think Cody is enough of a fucking internet guy that if enough people fucking say it's like a petition, he'll try to do it.
Can you imagine the promo with him laying the belt on his dad's grave, and then Roman Reigns comes, takes sledgehammer, knocks over Dusty's grave, and says, "My belt." Oh God, like fucking Paul White all over again on top of his dad's casket. Get back around.
So I think I know we already spoke on the Forbidden Door and everything like that.
I think the whole episode is. I think all of this is.
Yeah. Well, no. When we get to the Forbidden Door, topic, I'm talking about like now the pay-per-view. I think this Forbidden Door, if it's successful, it's going to blow. I think it's going to blow the ratings out of the water because there's so many like different like
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Daniel Bryan. Hell yeah.
Right. There's so many different avenues that you can go. And I think they're dipping their toe in the water when they put like Will Ospreay on AEW and like Jay White on AEW.
To that,
I wanted to see how like it was accepted. And I think that they're going to want to see how this pay-per-view goes. And now with New Japan, AEW owning ROH and New Japan having that close relationship with ROH, I think it's going to stir some shit up in the wrestling world. Like
what's going on with Andrade? He can't wrestle because AAA doesn't have a New Japan.
I don't know. Then I read a report today that was fucking bogus. Like he just doesn't want to work the show.
Oh really?
I saw that and I felt like I saw Conan comment something back, if like saying like you don't know what you're talking about, but I don't know the context and I didn't know that was a thing, and it might not be a thing, but I don't know enough about it to dispute it. But I also think that this will be that actual show is big for AEW because it's actually all this time the one constant that people talk shit about AEW is that they're not global. They can't compete with WWE because they're not even near WWE. They're literally just a show that an audience watches. This puts them now globally, technically, because you got people fucking. I mean, obviously, if you're a big wrestling fan in Japan, you know
you're gonna watch it, yeah.
But like I think this kind of puts it in their faces to the point where like even if I was a Japanese wrestling, like a Japanese guy, and I was a wrestling fan, I was like, nah, I don't. I'll spend my money on fucking New Japan shit or whatever.
But
then
their weekly show is not getting ratings. They're not getting any type of ratings on the weekly show. It's the same 800,000, 700,000 people that continue to watch.
Those are American audiences.
But that's what I'm saying. They're American audiences.
Right, but the topic he's talking is global.
Yeah, they're gonna grow globally. But what I'm saying is like American-wise, they're not growing.
That's what you want, though. A rating is a rating.
But
view is a view.
But you can do those ratings take into account the people that just stream it later on in the week to
No,
watch?
it doesn't even take into account for like
Recording.
like Vivo or whatever it is.
That's what yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because like most AEW shows with like that I've watched have been like I was working or like I was tired and then I just fucking pop it on the weekend or something.
Yeah, they don't count those recording and watch later type deals. They don't count that.
Well, I was also thinking too, like being like big for the industry, like going off what you were saying about the globally, is AEW's been kicking around this idea of going having a streaming service, and New Japan has their own streaming service, and I can see them maybe have a tie-in, like, hey, we'll put our content on yours,
And you can put ROH content. You can fucking put
yeah, it's like a business market. You have one streaming service for kind of like IWTV, but now it's gonna be for professional like wrestling instead of independent wrestling. So you're
I
gonna
hope
have,
they put Rev Pro on there.
yeah,
Dude, they could do a show in fucking England.
No, King would go crazy.
Dude, yeah,
like
We're juniors,
what- yeah.
one of the fucking greatest wrestlers right now.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine like a triple threat with like Brian Danielson, Pac, and Zack Sabre Jr.?
I would shit my pants.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, if this pay-per-view in a couple of weeks tears the roof off, and then everyone can see how it is, then you get everyone working together, and then the one that's trying to stay above water, TNA, you get them on board again. I
And
mean,
I think people don't take into consideration like yeah, TNA for sure, but I think the main like I think a lot of WWE fans obviously bounce back and forth as wrestling fans do, but I think there's a huge part of WWE's audience that's like our age or maybe even younger, and all they know is WWE, and they're like, no, fuck that. It's not as good fucking quality. This is like a fucking movie, HD and all that shit. I think this puts them now that it's like a fucking stock. It's like, oh, they're combining their powers with this. Oh, great. Now I can watch it because it's established. So I
it's
feel
inflated.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, and I think everyone saw how like this is what I do have to say about Tony Khan. You know, whatever. Everyone's got their own opinions about him. But I can say as a businessman, he's probably the smartest businessman because if he wanted to, he could have started the streaming service like that. What he did was, I don't think he wanted to do it solo because he saw WWE Network started off good, but then it fizzled out. Like everyone lost faith in it, and they just stopped putting new content on there. You could see it slowly starting to die off and everything. Then the NBC deal happened. Tony Khan doesn't want to do that solo. He wants to combine powers with multiple people. He's already been working deals with TNA. TNA already has their own streaming, app. Yeah, New Japan. New Japan's got their own streaming service. Ring of Honor had their own streaming service. So it's like he's getting different ties from different. And now if they can build a conglomerate for like
And then they
wrestling resource,
fucking indie wrestling shit, like indie wrestling can get their fucking shit on. Like it's just, but see, Tony Khan, I think because he gets a lot of shit about his business practices because of how he does things. But I think people in the business world can't wrap their mind around that he doesn't care about the business world. He cares about the business in wrestling. That's what his passion is. So that's where he puts, yeah, you have to fucking spend a lot. Yeah, your shit's not going to be profitable. Like he took a huge risk. And actually, I think now it's minorly profitable. It's at least a little profitable, I would assume.
mm-hmm.
And he gets all the shit from like guys like Eric, like all those old guys that talk shit, all the new people that don't know enough about it. So they talk shit. Dude, he doesn't care. Like he's not trying to get NBC. He's not trying to do any of that shit. He wants to bring wrestling to like, he just wants wrestling. So he's trying to grow his business in the wrestling world, which is obviously going to seem like a smaller footprint to people that just look at business practices and go, oh, why wouldn't you want these fucking billions and billions of dollars? That's right.
And it's like, I see him as a great business mind. And I can see, like I said, the conglomerate of like, you put in all the wrestling on one app. And then you can branch off and go, hey, I can go to this, watch this, and then I can watch this person's career, and everything like that. To where, I mean, I have Peacock. That's how my son watches SmackDown and everything like that.
Smart kid.
You have to go on. If you can't type it in, you gotta go like search for it.
It's the worst. The worst.
Yeah.
Peacock's version of WWE Network's always been trash. Since they bought it, it's been horrible.
If anybody that ever works for Peacock watches our episodes, we think it's the fucking.
It's the drizzling shit.
And I thought the fucking network was the drizzling shits with some things, but this is even fucking worse.
It's
And I
better
have
than
to
2
watch-
o'clock, damn it.
What?
What? No, Jim Cornette says that. It's better than 2 o'clock.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
Yeah. See, haha. Yo, has AEW changed from the beginning to now? Remember, it used to be like an indie person show, like you would get like War Horse and these guys coming on the show to expose these wrestlers and put them out there to get their name out. And now it's just like every match has an established name.
Yeah.
Well, you have to realize though too, like to their defense, when you were seeing like guys like Warhorse and showing up, that was during the pandemic. Like a lot of these other like AEW talents were from overseas, from other countries. They couldn't get in to America.
But now you're bringing all your big names on, like your CM Punk, Mox, Daniel Bryan.
Because there's an audience.
Yeah, because there's an audience. What pays the bills.
Remember, I used to say that AEW killed the indie wrestling scene. Like it was AEW and that was it. Like you had these other ones like Magic City Pro or CCW or AR Wrestling and shit like that. Yeah, they had their small like guys who were accountants during the day and shit. But like you used to get a lot more indie guys going up to AEW and getting exposed, and now they're not at all.
But I feel that goes with what
I just don't think you watch like Dark or Elevation because like Warhorse is wrestling tonight.
Well, you're 100% right. I don't watch Dark.
Like and like a lot of those security guys that Wardlow powerbomb, and beat up and everything, like they're all the indie workers too.
Are you referring to Will Austin?
No, actually, one of the guys that who it was a tag team. Who wrestled?
Executioner.
No, it was no, it was when the California Young Bucks wrestled. The two guys, this guy Joe Rust is a big indie wrestler in California.
What'd you call me? All right. Hey, you guys want to play Guess the Program?
Are we? Yeah, I guess. Are we done talking about?
I don't know. Are we? Are we done talking about how Cody's the best wrestler in the world right now? The GOAT. MJF's the second GOAT.
No, we're talking about. But I think that dude, there's a guy on Dark that he's actually one of like the production people too. He did a CCW Nashville show. He turns everything into a tombstone, and it's fucking hilarious. It's pretty funny.
Interesting.
What?
You should look at. I can't for the life of me remember his name, but obviously that fucking gimmick is way better than his thing. It was pretty funny. The shit he was showing me. He's on Dark. I just can't. I'm sure if you Google guy that fucking turns everything into a tombstone.
I mean, we could talk about the state of CCW wrestling. It's on fire right now.
Well, it's doing very well. TV in New Mexico. I know in California. Georgia, Florida, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great bash shows. We just had Cha Cha Charlie versus Anthony Katina in an ambulance match.
That looked that I look forward to watching. That looked pretty interesting.
All I can say is
it's even more fun watching the bash shows because like I know the landscape. So like when they do shit like that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Anthony Katina brings a new meaning to Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. Yeah. Yeah, they've had a couple like Ariel's had some really good matches.
Let's speak about that. The turn of the century.
The turn of the indie turn century for sure. I mean, really, like I don't think both quality wise, pop, the amount of people there, I think that should be the indie turn of the century, if there even is a runner up. But that was pretty fucking good. And made it look fucking good and fucking 5 stars all around to all.
First off, the match was insane. The ladder match for the belts. Okay, and then he turns on Venetius and the legendary Bill Alfonso.
Yeah,
and he laid chair shot after chair shot chair shot to Venetius, and it was brutal. brutal.
My son's first show, by the way. So that was always nice.
Nice.
3 years old.
That's one to remember.
He thought Vinicius was a dinosaur or a zombie. He thought Vinicius was a zombie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be his new gimmick.
So what do you guys want to play guest program? Oh, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
there's
My
a-
favorite part of the day.
we're
Just to see how great wrestling fans you are. You guys want to play? All right, cool. You guys ready? All right. So the first, whoa,
Oh, you're out of focus. Look at
that
that.
was out of focus.
That was so stylish. It's unfortunate you had nothing to say.
The first match on our guest the program was LOD 2000 defeating the Disciples of Apocalypse.
Well, that kind of gives him away the year.
Jeff Jarrett defeating Steve Blackman. Mark Marrow defeating Sable. Kai and Ty. Does everybody remember Kai and Ty?
WPP.
I'm a huge fucking Kai and Tai fan. Funaki
Defeating
never had a
Taka Michinoku and Justin Bradshaw. Who's Justin Bradshaw?
JBL.
I think he was doing a Jayhawk
Justin?
or something.
Justin?
Yeah.
The Rock defeated Farouk. Kane defeated Vader. The Nation, which was D'Lo Brown, Owen Hart, and Kama, defeated DX. And Steve Austin defeated Dude Love. What year and show was this?
Fuck, dude, you threw me off with the Vader thing. I think it's the Vader thing is fucking. This is fuck, dude. But
Come on, Chris. What do you got?
which one?
I'll give you the best part. I'll give you guys a little hint. Okay. The person who was on the poster was not on the show.
What was the one that Triple H was on the poster? Injured Vengeance 01.
Chris's brain is brewing.
I think it's 1997, and I think it's SummerSlam.
1998
I didn't guess. Dude.
in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Was it Over the Edge?
Over the Edge in your house? Ken Shamrock on the poster, not on the card.
I thought the Over the Edge one was the one that Owen Hart died in.
99. They did it.
I get that mixed up. I
98.
thought it wasn't Over the Edge.
Bro,
That's actually a really good main event. That Dude Loves Stone Cold match. I think that's the match that Undertaker comes out and like fucking choke slams the Briscoes and fucking beats the shit out of them and fucking. It's pretty entertaining.
How is Ken?
I don't know about
Shamrock-
all the other shit. I don't remember the other shit being entertaining.
How is Ken Shamrock on the poster but not on the card?
He was like injured or dude. I heard he would just not show up to shit.
I think he was supposed to wrestle Steve Blackman because they had a storyline going.
Yeah. I think this was around the time when they were doing that like shoot fighting shit with like Severin and all that stuff. And then I think just Shamrock he didn't have heat, but I heard that he would just like either not show up or like come late or like do whatever. And like, I think when it came to a pay-per-view, they were just like, nah.
And around that time, do you remember he was the one that orchestrated that Lions Den match?
Yeah. And that was that summer because he was really like popular. Like that. I think that was the end of 97 is when he has the championship match with Shawn, which is okay. It's not bad. It's weird, but it's fine. But see, that's a whole perspective thing. Why do I think it's weird? Because it's Ken Shamrock and Shawn Michaels or fucking because it's just a weird match.
Have you guys seen that interview of Chris Van Vliet with Ken Shamrock? And he's like, I told Rock smack me in the face with a chair.
Oh yeah, because that chair shot, dude. I remember watching the chair shot.
He's like, he hit me in the face. I was so happy I was alive. That's crazy.
That's like one of the most classic chair shots, but that wasn't even that hard of a chair shot.
It was a good chair shot. He swung.
It was a great chair shot. It was like one of the
best.
Best chair shot ever thrown.
With Stevie Richards hitting JBL.
That's a good one.
I would have said JBL hitting
Blue Meanie.
No, not Blue Meanie.
He didn't hit him with a chair shot. He hit him with his fist.
Yeah, no.
No, but he got a receipt for the Stevie Richards one.
Who did he hit?
No, that was the receipt. is
Stevie Richards hitting JBL was the receipt.
was the receipt.
Yeah, I remember
But
that.
I feel like JBL bailed on somebody around.
Pete Gas. He fucking laid into Pete
Yeah.
Gas. It was the lug shot of the week 2 weeks in a row. The lug shot of the week 2 weeks in a row. He's fucking Pete Gas getting annihilated by the chair.
There was one, because like I said, I've been watching all that TV like in order for like the past year. There was a match on Raw against the Outlaws versus the APA, and Bradshaw picks up the fucking timekeeper's table and just fucking throws it at Road Dogg, like hard as fuck. And I remember dying laughing, but it looked rough as shit. Like, it might just be me marking out, but it looked like he like to him it was a chair. He just fucking like.
That was like me with Ref Amy that one night that she got like kneed in the face. I was marking out. I'm like, oh my God, Chris Thrasher, she's dead. She's dead. And we went out to her later, like, yo, my God, did you die? And she's like, no, I'm perfectly fine. I'm like, oh my God, I marked so hard.
Well, that's just like the best I can remember of those stiff like matches is APA against Public Enemy.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, that was probably one too. I probably
that wasn't even a match. It was just I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, they did not like Public Enemy. Public Enemy was not like.
Well, because the story behind that is they were supposed to like take a move. Either Public Enemy was, and they okayed it. They were gonna go through a table, this, that, and the other, and they're in Gorilla right before they're gonna go out, and they turn to Bradshaw and say, "Yeah, we're not doing that spot. You got to figure something else out."
Wrong person to say that shit.
And Farouk, Ron Simmons goes, "I'm gonna rip their heads off." And they told that to dude in Gorilla, and they walked down there and they beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for your next program?
Oh, there's no idea.
Yeah. I have 3 pulled up. If you guys don't want to do one after this one, it's okay. This one, R-Truth defeating CM Punk. Christian defeating Shelton Benjamin. Drew McIntyre defeating John Morrison. Michelle McCool versus Mickey James. Sheamus defeating John Cena. Undertaker defeating Batista. Randy Orton defeating Kofi Kingston. And DX defeating Jericho. Jericho, yo, real quick, shoot back all the way to like one of our first or second episodes. We did a best tag teams edition. Jericho is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. But go ahead. I digress.
A lot of that. That was after Triple H got hurt as the whole DX thing, I believe. I'm gonna go 08, but I don't know the show. 08 fucking Backlash.
Well, this is a SmackDown, so it's gonna be a SmackDown pay-per-view
It's mixed
at this
up.
time. No, this was a SmackDown pay-per-view.
But
Why
why is Cena and Undertaker on the card?
Because remember, at one point in time, they were both on SmackDown.
What about DX?
DX was on Raw.
I think this was a. I think you're off a year. I think it's 07. I think it's 07.
What show?
See, I'm trying to think because I got to remember when they stopped doing this one pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I can't remember the fucking. I'm fucking 09 Unforgiven or some shit. I don't fucking.
Because remember, like in
09 Vengeance.
Well, they still had the WCW pay-per-views around this time. So,
like, the Bash, but I think
it's Great American Bash.
The Bash was the SmackDown one, right?
Yeah, I think it's 2007 Great American Bash.
All right, you guys ready? You were correct in saying that Slauson or Cole Slauson was a year off. However, you went the wrong way.
09.
It is 2009. Tables, ladders, and chairs.
That's a weird card.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you see my next card.
Because remember when Undertaker came back, he didn't have a championship run. He was working a program with like Heidenreich. You had like Cena on SmackDown too as the US champ.
That was a weird, yeah.
That's why I knew they were both on SmackDown at one point in time.
It was the DX thing that threw me off though, and Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston.
Remember he was when he was the Jamaican.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
He was on SmackDown. He was on.
Stupid.
Yeah, he was on SmackDown.
No, but I just never remember like a headline match with Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston.
Remember
didn't know he
in
worked
like
on Roman.
in like 07 to 09, Randy Orton wasn't like high profile yet.
I guess.
He had that IC run.
Dialed him back notch. But 07, he has the championship match with Shawn in Survivor Series because I was at that one.
But then he gets hurt. And then he gets hurt and he
Oh,
comes
I didn't know.
back.
I didn't know I got hurt. But then that's what also threw me off is that fucking the whatever the New Year's show is that they were doing, New Year's Revolution or whatever. Triple H gets hurt at that one. So he's out.
Well, remember, oh no, let me say he got hurt.
He tore his quad again, didn't he?
No, not Triple H. I'm talking Randy Orton. He got
Oh, got
hurt.
you. Oh, he popped a test back then.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, you guys
No,
ready
no,
for
it's
the
coming.
third card, and then we're going to bed because we're all old.
Yeah.
All right, third card. You guys ready to jump in a time machine?
True.
Serena Deeb defeated Riho. Hangman Adam Page defeated Brian Cage. Do anybody know what show this is already?
Who's
Yeah,
Brian Cage?
What show is it, Thrasher? Two matches in. What show is it?
it's the one that we went to. That we went
Which
to the
one?
movie
Which
theater.
one? Which one?
Oh fuck.
I ain't even gonna. Is it Revolution 2000?
No.
fucking
Cody Rhodes defeated Anthony Ogogo.
Man, it was
Miro defeated Lance Archer. DMD Britt Baker defeated Hikaru Shida.
for the belt, man. It was a Full Gear that we went and saw.
What show was it?
I don't even know all their shows. Revolution, Full Gear, Double or Nothing, and there's one more, right?
It wasn't Double or Nothing.
Smaller one.
Inner Circle defeated the Pinnacle.
It's either Full Gear or Revolution. 2021.
Kenny Omega defeated Orange Cassidy and Pac.
It was definitely Full Gear. It was Full Gear last year in 2021 because it was the first pay-per-view back with fans.
All right. Is that your final answer, gentlemen?
I mean,
Yeah, because Brian Cage and Adam Page was the first match.
This card took place on the date of May 29th, 2021, and fell under the title of AEW Double or Nothing.
Oh, that was a Double or Nothing. Didn't they do that stupid ladder match thing?
The only match that I didn't read off because I figured it would give it away is Jungle Boy won by eliminating Christian in a casino battle royale. I left that match off the card just because that would have gave it away.
What show did they do? Do they do the? It's not a Money in the Bank, but it is Money in the Bank.
It's that one.
Brass ring. It's the brass ring.
Yeah, the brass fucking hemorrhoid donut that they put on top of
The
the
hemorrhoid donut. So, all right, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. MJF is the GOAT. Cody Rhodes is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Terry Funk is the greatest wrestler of all time, forever and always.
And he died.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is I saw a meme the other day that Terry Funk has wrestled for the AWA, the NWA, the New Japan, All Japan, TNA, ECW, WCW, WWF, like
Yeah,
all in his wrestling, and then local indie shows that he's wrestled in. So he's like
everything.
the Wilt Chamberlain of wrestling.
Yeah, he's amazing. He is the GOAT. And funny enough, he never wrestled like when it was WWE.
No.
He did not. He was not middle
He
aged.
should make a comeback right now.
Dude, he can't.
Mother's a whore.
Mother's a whore. Dude, his promos when he gets kicked in the head with the horse, so fucking good.
Forever.
The forever one, the fucking. Dude, that's one of my favorite fucking. Well, that's not when he did the forever. When did he do forever? The Flair one, right?
He won the title over in Japan, wasn't it?
When he beat it was a death match tournament.
Yes, and he's just yelling for it. Fucking
What's the guy's name? Starts with an O.
Okaru Shida.
No. Okani.
Okonami, Ogadi,
Yeah,
Okada.
no, it's not Okada.
He
No,
wrestled Okada in a death match.
no.
Fucking the night.
Otami. No, it's because he's been wrestling for Matt Tremont, and they've been having death matches and everything like that. And
Matt Tremont, isn't that Albert
no,
Kentai?
no,
Or
Matt
wait,
Bloom, you idiot,
that's Matt Bloom.
fucking moron.
A Train is
A-Train. What was
Uh,
Tensai?
oh,
Tensai.
Tensai. No, it's not Tensai, is it?
Yeah, remember they tried to get Tensai over against John Cena
Do you know the reason why they made him Tenzai?
because he was in Japan?
Because he was in Japan. You know who his tag team partner was? Carl Anderson.
Oh, really?
They were New Japan like tag team champions, and I guess they saw like that he was over, and they brought him in as a Japanese wrestler.
Like we're not gonna just be like, is that fucking A Train?
Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? In Japan, his name was Big Baldo.
Of
Wait,
course.
what?
Yeah.
That's what I'll call you that. That's what you should be called. Big Baldo.
Shut up, Richard.
That's how we're
Yes.
gonna end it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Wrestling Paradox Podcast. Forbidden Door. Nothing.
I got nothing.
Nothing. You got to talk so the camera's on you, idiot.
You're an idiot.